Hey guys, this is, I guess I'm not really doing proper updates anymore, which sucks. I don't always feel like I have stuff to report, and at the same time, I don't know, I guess I kind of just deal with the cancer stuff as it comes, and then try to forget about it. So, I'm not going through any treatment at the minute, I'm not due a scan for a year, am I dealing with lots of post-side effect, the chemo stuff? Yes, and it all sucks. So this is more a what I've been doing lately, why I haven't been about kind of thing. Mostly my mood has been seriously, so I feel like every time somebody asks me like, hey, you doing okay? I'm like, no, but I can't complain because I don't have cancer, so it could be worse, right? Like, I have like myalgia occasionally, like in the last 2 years I probably had it like 4 to 5 times, like where every bone hurts for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then it just goes and something else comes along, like the little cuts I get on my head. So it's trivial stuff, but it's kind of the little stuff that gets me down more. Like, I think I even said last week that doing chemo was actually easier than what I'm putting up with now, which seems untrue, but it's actually not. So, kind of getting on with stuff. So, to sort of lift my mood, what I've been doing so far is tie-dyeing a lot. I only actually started a week and a half ago, like my very first ever tie-dye. I actually have like a bucket list, like I'm sure everybody does, of what they want to do on this world. Make a difference. So yeah, somewhere down the bottom there is tie-dye. Never done it before, wanted to do it, always liked it. I've never been brave enough to wear it, because I don't think I could pull it off. But, yeah, I've always appreciated it, so. My little thing of what I've been doing so far, my little, like, journal, if you like, is I tie-dyed these. My niece is really amazed with how I managed to, like, make the two socks look, like, almost identical, and it's pretty obvious. When you band them, with the elastic bands, you band them in similar places, line them up and check where they're at, and then use the same colours in the same, like, first space, second space, whatever you're doing. The different pair I tie-dyed. Actually really like these. They were a little darker, obviously, when the dye was wet, and now they kind of come off, they're like purple and blue, whereas before they were like red and blue, maroon and blue. Also been doing baby grows, because there's a few babies I know that I can give these to. But some of these are also on eBay for sale because they don't match up with the babies that I know size-wise. So this is called the sunburst effect. This. I like it, and if you use different colours you can kind of have like a moon effect. Some form of celestial body anyway. Yeah. That was probably one of the first ones I did. It was definitely the first sunburst one I did. This one's really sweet. Just hold it back here, I guess. They don't all have the same design on the back. Some are different, but the majority of them I just did top and bottom, back and front. This one is a good old swirl effect, which is really sweet actually. I plan on doing a few more of them with some different colours. This one I think I did swirl again. Hair. It's really cute. Let me see. This one is Vinny's. Yeah, so this one is going to a little man who is not quite big enough to fit in that yet, but he soon will be. This one was supposed to be green and blue, but the green kind of really faded. It is still there, but it's very pale. Still, I like it because not all tie-dye has to be like in your face. It's good to be understated. This one, very cute. Reminds me of Smarties for some reason. The purple and the blue Smarties. I don't know why. This one, very cute. I love it. Kind of reminds me of a zebra. Not a zebra. Why did I say a zebra? Chemo brain. An animal with a pattern. A giraffe. I don't know why. It reminds me of a giraffe or like stained wood for some reason. I just really like it. This is my favourite one. So it's supposed to be the moon. I kind of wish I hadn't done it on the back as well, but it's still really sweet because you can have the front of the moon and the back of the moon. So yeah, I really like it. So that's one of the things I've been doing. I do also make sock monkeys. I haven't finished this little guy yet. He's almost done, just not yet. But just to show you that I do make them, have made them, know how to make them. So yeah, this guy also needs finishing because he is seriously missing some arms and a mouth and an other ear. I did one ear though. Yeah. Here are his arms. He just needs them. And I also have in the past I've done owls. Just kind of anything to keep me busy, my mind busy. So yeah. So I make stuff, I do stuff to try and get myself out of the funk that I'm in. I wanted to mention this book, but I haven't actually done anything with this book. When I was in hospital, mindfulness kept getting mentioned to me a lot, which is not like how you think, you know, like when, like, I don't know, your auntie used to say, oh, you should be more mindful. It's not about that. It's about taking time for yourself. Like there's a sleep app you can get where it'll like talk you to sleep, but it also has meditation stuff. I forget the name of it, and I've since uninstalled it, so I can't tell you. But if you search like in the Google Play Store for like mindfulness apps, it will probably come up. It's like there's ones which like tell you how to breathe and, you know, take this time for yourself and all that kind of jargon, which is helpful, I guess. So I got this book from Amazon. I always feel like I'm on commission here. I'm not. I don't get paid for any of this. So it's I Am Here Now. It's a mindfulness journal. Haven't actually filled any of it in. That was kind of my point. What I wanted to ask is anybody that's following me or is watching this video, if you've had cancer yourself, I just wanted to ask you, because I don't really have anybody else as a soundboard to bounce questions off and get answers. I am really struggling and have been struggling for about the last 12 months with either completing things or getting the motivation in the first place to do them. And that is not me at all. Like, literally, I'm like the go-to person for memory and like getting stuff done. Like, most of my family would be like, oh, if you want it doing, yeah, just ask Penny, she'll do it. And not in a like doormat way, but in a, if you really want this doing, it's best to give it to Penny. It will get done. So I just wanted to ask if anybody else is sort of dealing with the same stuff, like lacking motivation, not on a like, when I had cancer and you have the mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna die, so what's the point? Not on that point, because I'm not there, but even when I have the time to do it and the effort and the energy, it's that last final bit of effort to get, you know, the stuff that you need to do it together. Like, the fact that I've done the tie-dyeing, it took so long to get to that point. Especially because, like, you have to pre-wash the stuff, then dye the stuff, then leave it, then wash, then rinse it out, then wash it, then dry it, until you get your final product. So it was a lot of effort. I also kind of did my hips in a bit by standing for so long to do it. So for like that next weekend, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like not do anything this weekend. So yeah, I don't really know how to word my question directly to the point of what I'm trying to say. What would be perceived as lazy for a regular person? I'm wondering if anybody's dealing with that, because this is not laziness. Laziness, I've had a bath today, I've got dressed today, I've done all those things, but if I wanted to do something else now, like, I don't know, finish that sock monkey or start that book, it's that initial, like, getting over that wall. Like, I've thought about it, and sometimes just thinking about it is enough to go like, that's enough for today. So I'm sort of just struggling with that. Like, the easiest way to explain it is right now my room is trashed. My room's never been as bad as it is now, but at the same time, my room has always gone on a basis of if my head's a mess because I'm stressed or I've got exams when I was back in school or whatever, my room would be a mess. So, because I'm sort of keeping all these plates spinning up in the air at the minute, my room is falling behind, not through time. I have the time to do it. It's just the ability to make it look better than it does. So, like, I have a cupboard in my room and I have a drawer, and then I have, like, a block of drawers. Usually I'll, like, dunk one of them drawers out and put it all back better than it came out, or better than it was organised at the time. I'm getting to the point now where I dunk them out and I put them back, and then these, like, 3 things don't fit in this drawer, but they fit in the drawer 10 minutes ago. Because I haven't organised it any better than it was, and I've actually managed to make it look worse than it was. And that's what I'm struggling with. So I hope I haven't gone over anybody's head. I sort of go over my own head asking what I'm asking, but I know what I'm asking. If that makes any sense. I've also been catching up with Teen Mom, kind of on my lazy days. That is something I have been doing. I think my Teen Mom ones are in the other room. I have the DVDs, but I've been just watching it online, streaming the latest OG ones, which is the original girls. Not sure if any of you guys watch Teen Mom or 16 and Pregnant, but if you do, not to spoil it, but on the last season, my opinion of Caitlyn has changed for the worse, which isn't good. She was always kind of my favourite all the way through. Her and Macy were always my favourite. My opinion of Amber's changed a little, which is for the good. And my opinion of Gary has changed a little more on the negative side. Like, he's totally not the best at, shall we say. Ow, ow, ow. My knee is not my friend today. So yeah, if you guys understand my question and you can answer it, I'd be grateful. At the same time, if you're not... No, in fact, if you're not fully getting it, don't even ask me to explain it further, because I won't be able to. It is what it is. I know that I'm not doing stuff. I'm not doing stuff because I can't be arsed or I'm lazy. That's not the issue. The issue is the ability to get it done correctly. Like, at the minute, my self-worth is pretty low. I feel useless, and I don't know what the right term is. Some people have this view of people that survive cancer as like, okay, so once you survive cancer, like, all the answers to life are like in front of you and you know what to do next and so forth. And it doesn't feel like that. I still feel lost and I still get depressed. My anxiety is extreme since I've been sick. Like, I guess I understand what people say about, like, going to prison and being institutionalized. Getting used to a certain setting. Because I had, like, the 18 months I was sick, and then, like, the 2 years, like, once I was diagnosed, the 2 years to today, It's only within like the last 8 months where I haven't just been in rooms with doctors and nurses. Like, I've been doing things, and you know, I'm back at work and stuff, so dealing with crowds and stuff like that. But like the first time I went to Tesco, when it was in between my first and second operation, and I was still holding my stomach, I was kind of walking like an old lady because of the lump in my back. Would kind of have me arched over a bit and in pain, and it'd be like supporting with my hand permanently like my scar because it was still healing. And Tesco was like super busy that day, but I swear it wasn't like, I don't know, Friday afternoon. It wasn't like necessarily a rush hour for the store. And this guy nearly bumped into me, and like he didn't, but just in that second, like my whole world stopped, and I just thought, I had this huge lump in my throat, and I just thought, if he'd have actually knocked me over, he'd have put me back in hospital. And it's something so trivial, something can bump into you, you know, at any point, it's not an issue. But I weighed like 8.5, I weighed 8 stone 2 at the time. And I felt after my first operation like I'd been hit by a truck. So there was no kind of strength or anything. It was enough of an effort for me to get from the car, walk into the store to get whatever we were getting, and walk out. And the fact that this guy nearly walked into me just threw me. Like, it was enough for me to see all these people moving like this, basically in front of your face, and I was like, wow. Because I hadn't had that for so long. I'd had like waiting rooms full of people, and then you go in a room with a doctor, a nurse, and whoever you brought with you. It's like 4 people, 5 people max. To like walking into Tesco, and it's just utter chaos, like Trafalgar Square on like a Friday afternoon. Like, wow. Sort of, I guess that's where I realised my anxiety over crowds and stuff, and where I kind of realised on a hospital sense I'd kind of become institutionalised. Being used to being in a ward with like 7 other people permanently, and 1 or 2 nurses dotted about, and, you know, 7 or so visitors, maybe 14 visitors if they all had 2. But then you're like, you've got your curtains and you can section it off, and I don't know, life when you're sick is a lot quieter, and I don't know what the word is, like, I really don't know what the word is. I guess organised, you know, like you go from this appointment to that appointment to home to this appointment. And that's kind of like, that was it. I wasn't going out in between. Like, I did walk to the shop one time with my cousin from my auntie's house. And I remember, like, the whole time my cousin just commenting on how, like an old lady I was walking, and the lump in my back was going bright red and stuff like that. It was killing me. I had to try to do those things, you know, I had to try to get better. And I did to a point, and then the surgical abscess that I had, which I'd pretty much said to them like a day or 2 days after my operation, like, hey, my back's really hurting, could you look at it? And they were like, oh, it's just your drain, which actually turned out to be a surgical abscess, which caused me grief for 2.5 months longer than my operation. And then they gave me another operation, so it's kind of annoying because I was to some degree recovered in between the operations and then put on my arse again, basically. The only good thing is, from my second operation, I actually walked out of hospital. I'm really proud of myself for that, because from the first one, I was discharged, I think 8 days after my operation. I'd have to give you the dates to say it, but it's about 8 days after my operation I was discharged after my first operation. And my auntie came up to take me home, and I just said to her, I was like, you know I can't walk out of here. Because we were on like the 3rd floor or something, or the 2nd floor as well. I was like, there's no way I can walk out of here. So she was like, oh, and she had to get me a chair. But the second time I got to go home after being in hospital for 24th, so it was either like 10 days or 14 days. And for the first 2 or 3 days after my operation, I don't know if it was like me doing it or if it was them doing it, but I was pretty much sparked for that whole time. Like, I'd wake up and my brother would be there and my mom, well, not together, but yeah, they don't get on. My brother and my auntie would be there, or then my mom and my dad would be there, and then I was awake when my friends came, to be fair, but for the first few days it was just family. And I'd see them and I'd be like apologising because I couldn't stay awake. I'm like, you can go home, it's okay, I'm sorry, I can't stay awake. And they'd be like, no, we're staying. I'm like, okay. And then I'd close my eyes and like blink is what it would feel like. And like 2 other people would be there and the other ones would be gone. So obviously hours had passed. But I don't know to this day if that was me or something, if they kind of like kept me sedated. I really don't know. After that I got fitted with a syringe drive thing so that like I could press it when I needed it, and that was in my hip. The palliative care team put that in, well, in my thigh, I guess you could say. But yeah, I've gone from being on a ward to being in a small room with a couple of people to sitting on a bus that's full, or, you know, I work in a factory, so going back to the factory and it's just like tons of people and you're like, okay. But yeah, speaking of work and anxiety, I got asked to clean the fire escapes the other day, like to dust them off, and I gotta say, I have not been to all the fire escapes before. It's not in our job list to clean them regularly. I've been there for 6 years and I've never been asked to do it. But I'm sure the cleaner, because there's 2 other cleaners apart from me, so I'm sure they have in their time, and maybe even while I was off they were. But it's the first time for me, so I was like, yeah, sure. And then I was thinking, I've got to go to that bit of the factory over there that I've never been to, and I was like, oh, fucking hell. It really panicked me. It took me 2 days to do them all, not because there was that many, but literally just I went to this part that I hadn't been to, and then I got on with my regular job so that I could fit it all into the time that I was in, and then I did the end ones, and the whole middle bit I was just like, I'll do tomorrow. I was just so panicked. I was like, oh. I hate having anxiety over stupid stuff like that. That should be really bog standard stuff for somebody to ask me to do. But still, I was like, okay, yeah. And I did it. I had to do it because I'd agreed to do it and it's my job. But the fact that it took me 2 shifts, I'm kind of like not impressed with myself on that. But I don't know what that is. I don't think that's a crowd issue. It's not like a crowd anxiety issue, but it's definitely a I don't know, I was just really kind of paranoid of somebody going like, what are you doing in this bit? Even though I'm technically allowed to go everywhere on the factory, because if any of it needs cleaning, then I'm allowed there. But I was still like, no one asked me, luckily. So yeah. Anxiety, it's not something you can pick and choose with, sadly, so. I understand some of it makes sense. Like, I had panic attacks before I was sick, like after I lost my dog. I had my very first panic attack after I paid a vet's bill for the vet to put her down. I came home and I had a massive panic attack. And then when I had a guy following me, like a stalker if you like. He followed me off the bus into a supermarket and then followed me around the supermarket for like 90 minutes. And then he saw me on the bus the next day. And he came right over to my face and was like, how are you? And I was like, so yeah, I've had drama with him for like 5 or 6 years, on and off. And he's caused me at least 3 panic attacks. And then since I've been sick, I've had 2. So yeah, anxiety was there before, but again, like a lot of things since chemo, although it's more since the institutionalization of being sick, that's brought the anxiety to being what it is. It's a tough one. I do have like pills off the doctor for the anxiety, but I tend not to take them if I can help it, because I don't know, I think somebody scared me and said something. I think it was my auntie, and she said something like, oh, make sure you go to the toilet before you take one of them. And I was like, why? And she goes, because you won't be able to move once you take one of them. So this thing of like, I'm gonna have an accident then. So I sort of didn't take them, but I don't actually think they're related to anything to do with that. When I did take one, when I really needed to, it didn't do anything. So, I do take them, but I don't take them daily. I take them when I feel a situation is going to be difficult for me. Again, I don't like taking pills. I've done this video and then I've deleted it, and I'm trying to do it again. I'm trying to re-hit the things that I mentioned. I mentioned about taking pills. I don't like taking pills. I understand that I need to for like the labyrinthitis and stuff. I'm not a kind of pills will fix your problem girl. Just to go into it briefly, but not massively. When I was sick, a lot of the stuff I was going in with, like you'll read on many people's stories, especially if you follow the Bowel Cancer UK Never Too Young thing. I've read about 5 stories on there when I did a campaign with them, the Never Too Young campaign, and it was my story 5 times. I was like, okay. Which shows you that you're not alone and stuff, but at the same time I'm like, okay, so why aren't doctors getting it yet? But I understand that as well, doctors' hands are kind of tied by the NHS and stuff, so whatever. But yeah, to go back to what I was saying, I may have said it before, I probably have. Sorry for repeating myself. A lot of the symptoms that I went in with, the doctors would give me the pill to counter it. So like if I went in with nausea, they give me anti-sickness pills. If I went in with stomach cramps, they give me antispasmodics. I went in with like reflux, like acid, and they give me omeprazole. There was one before omeprazole. Sounds exactly the same, but beginning with an L. Omep. Blow up. It sounds the same, I can't think what it's called. But they give me like the dummy standard one that they give out, and then I was like, it's really bad. And then they put me on omeprazole, because it's supposed to be a bit better than the L one. So if I would have been happy to just continue to take pills that counter what I'm feeling, or at least dull what I'm feeling, I don't actually believe that I would be here today. So that's a big reason that I don't agree with taking pills. Even down to like, if you're having period pains, you know, grab a blanket, get a heat pack, just sit, make sure you've got something, because if you've ever had period pains and not ate anything, to me it's worse, but when you eat, it's almost like giving the cramps and the pains something to sort of grind at instead of grinding at you. And I know it's not linked, like your stomach's nothing to do with what's actually happening with your period pains, but at the same time it just seems to help. Even down to distraction techniques, you know, sit and read a book or listen to some music, something. If you're sat there thinking, I'm in pain, I'm in pain, I'm in pain, you're in pain, and you're gonna be, because you're telling yourself you are. You know, try things. It doesn't have to be, you know, a painkiller. I do take painkillers, but I don't take them every month. For, like, literally just still talking about periods, I don't take them every month. There can be months and months where I don't take them. And then there could be months where I'm like, okay, I'm taking painkillers today, and then like a day later, I'm taking painkillers again. Sometimes you do need them, but I don't know, I'm down with the not natural, so kind of do stuff that's natural. Drink plenty of water. Heat pack is great for period pains. for me, sitting still is good. If I have to move, like if I don't know why, I can't give you an example, but if I have to be out and about, say, that would cause me issues, whereas sitting still on the sofa in a position I'm comfortable in helps my back and my hips and my legs. At the same time, I have done some exercise when I've been having menstrual pains. Like I've been to the gym. I think I've rode my bike as well. And it does actually help. But at the same time, when I have them, when I initially get period pains, I'm not like, oh, I'm going to go ride my bike. Screw that. I'm not doing that. So, I don't know, it's just important that you listen to your body. Your body gives things, you know, for a purpose, and like, don't ignore anything. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I think I mentioned in the video that I deleted, but I haven't mentioned it in this one. I have a referral at the minute to Neurology, and it's partly because of the labyrinthitis and other things, like I've cuts in my nose and stuff, and not really sure why. Major thing that actually is the reason I have my appointment to Neurology is I've lost my sense of taste. So they're kind of like, okay, why has that happened? And I don't know myself. I'm not sick at the minute. Like, I don't have a cold, so it's not altering what food tastes like because I'm sick. It doesn't feel like being on chemo. I've been on medication before now that's made me feel like I'm on chemo again because it's made my mouth dry and it's made food taste bad. This just... it either makes food taste bad or taste dull. Like, I had Granny Smith apple the other day and I was eating it and I was upstairs in my room where I am now, and I was like, I'll give this one to the dogs. I normally give them my apple core. I take the pips out before anybody comments because they have arsenic in. I take the pips out and I give them my core. But I took the pips out and I just give them the whole apple. I was like, it doesn't taste right at all. And it only actually had one pip in it, so I kind of put it down to like, okay, one pip, probably why it didn't taste very like flavoursome. And then I think what else I had. I had a roast dinner, and I was aware of the texture. Like, it's corn, it's broccoli, peas, this is potato. But at the end of it, to think about it, I didn't actually taste... I think I tasted the gravy and the mint sauce. But other than that, I'm like... Today I had a roast dinner because it's Sunday. And the broccoli tasted really bad. The mint sauce tasted like very, very vinegary. And it's like a brand new thingy, so there's nothing wrong with it. I couldn't taste the chicken at all. And I could taste the gravy, which made things taste better. And then I've had a bottle of juice somewhere along the line, and that tasted like it was off. So when one or two things taste bad, I'm like, okay, that was a bad apple. You know, or that was a dodgy bottle of juice. But when it's like 3, 4, 5, 6 things, I'm like, okay, it's me. So I finally went to the doctors about it, and then he, without me having to say like other issues that were bothering me to do with my head, he referred me to Neurology. So I'm not fully sure how I feel about that, but I guess either way a good answer will, well, not a good answer, but either way I'll get some kind of clarity. Personally, I would like my head to be scanned. I've never had a scan on my head, which I don't understand why when people get cancer they don't like scan their whole body, specifically when they've had lymphedema, because you have lymph nodes in your head and you have them in your legs. I've never had a scan on my legs, and I've never had a scan on my head, but a lot of my lymph nodes were infected with cancer, so it just kind of slight paranoia to think that a little bit of it could be sat somewhere, kind of growing, so touch wood, and I hope it's not bad news, but at the same time it would be just nice to know either way, because the taste thing really bugs me, and it's weird because it's not on everything. Not everything tastes bad and not everything tastes weird. Some things taste exactly how they should, and then like I'll eat like my last meal of the day or something, and part of it will just taste bad, and I'm like, okay, so that's still there. Whatever that is still there. And I'm really not sure what that is. So hopefully they can work it out. And hopefully it's not some kind of incurable thing that I have, because I tend to have a lot of, we can't do anything about that, things. I'm just making faces at the camera because I want to. Now, I don't know what else to discuss right now. And the sun's about to go down, so it's about to be really shiny. It's so beautiful. Yeah, so if I actually got any sense anywhere, and you understand that question I was asking about the motivation and the ability to complete a task, could you please message me below? Comment. I'd appreciate it. The only other person I'm currently talking to that has cancer, she is relatively new to it. She's on about her 3rd cycle. She's doing pretty good. But she can't answer the questions I have because I'm much further along the track than her, and the only other person I know that's further along the track than me, she didn't make it. So, without joining a support group, and I wouldn't know how to word it anyway in like a forum, I don't know who else to ask, so I'm asking you guys. So even if you just know somebody who has cancer and has been through treatment, if you could kind of put the question to them for me, I would really appreciate it. Nah, sign off and go get something done. I don't know if I mentioned the to-do list and the done list, but it's the thing I saw online. What was my wrist? It was a thing I saw online about because my self-worth is quite low, like I feel useless at the minute, to do with the depression and stuff. If you make a done list instead of a to-do list, it's supposed to be like a more positive outlook. So I'm gonna give it a shot. So take care of yourselves for now, and I will do an update at some point.